Setbacks happen to every single person in every walk of life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or simply a man going through a very dark tunnel, but there's also going to be lessons in here for women as well. Whether it's financial struggles, burnout, personal challenges. In this episode, I'm going to share with you my personal journey of how I restarted my business brand after I went through from my absolute dream life in 2019, 2020 to heading into 2022, the toughest year of my life, what brought me there, and the strategies I used to get myself back out. I'm excited and scared to share this at the same time. I've never shared this publicly as of yet, but I believe through our own struggles, so many people can take lessons and can help them in their personal journey to where you want to go. I will share with you what is the dark tunnel, what happens when you're in it, and what pushes you in there, and the strategies I used to get myself out of there, but also to build momentum coming out of there at the same time. Welcome to the Business Mentor Podcast. I'm going to read you here what the dark tunnel represents. It's a period of uncertainty, failure or personal struggle, feeling disconnected from purpose or direction, experiencing rejection, doubt, financial struggles or isolation, a time where faith, resilience and patience are tested, often necessary before a breakthrough. It prepares you for a greater responsibility and leadership. Now, what happens when you're going through the tunnel? Definitely, you are absorbed by self-doubts. You lose your own confidence. You lose your stamina and determination. There's lots of emotional turmoil, fear, frustration, sometimes even depression. There's testing of your own values. Who are you? What do you stand for? Where have you been and where are you heading? And there's many moments of temptation, giving up, compromising, and making desperate decisions. The amazing thing is that there's growth in places in that tunnel where you cannot see, because you begin to question yourself. Who are you? A lot of men go through this in their early 40s to mid 40s, and it's a time of self-reflection to really step back and ask yourself, who am I? What do I stand for? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What has driven me until now? And are they the same things that are going to drive me in the future? The rules that apply in the morning of your life do not necessarily apply in the afternoon of your life. Things change, priorities change, and looking back now, even though it's easy to say when you've come out of it, I can say it was a massive blessing. Isn't that how it is when we go through difficulty? We are ripping our skin off with anger and frustration and feelings of resentment and bitterness and hopelessness. But when you come out the other side, you realize that that helped shape who I am today, and that gave me lessons that no success can ever give me. So take out your pens and paper. I hope to really give you some amazing value today. I hope this episode gives you joy and hope, because life is amazing. There are so many blessings everywhere, and when you focus on the blessings, they begin to grow, they begin to multiply. What happened in my dark tunnel? Well, in the years of the 2010s, all the way until 2020, I lived my dream life. I was creating a business, a sales force all around the world. I was involved in the travel industry. I was around like-minded people who wanted growth, who wanted success, who aimed for massive goals. I met my wife in 2011. We got engaged in 2013 and married in 2015. In 2020, cracks began to show. The business that I built for over 10 years of my life came crumbling down. The company went from $60 million a year revenue when I joined in 2009 to $1 billion revenue in 2016. 2017-18 showed financial cracks, and in 2020, it shut down. A few months before it shut down, I opened up Elysian. It was going to be a little hobby, but sometimes God puts you in a path and prepares you for the next chapter. I opened it in June. I had a couple of guys working there in the summer, university jobs. It was the end of August. They were about to leave to go back to school, and I had no idea. It was a Thursday. I had no idea who was going to work there in the beginning of September. I got let go of my job on that Thursday. On the Monday, I was working that restaurant, Elysian in Nicosia, full time. I went all in my restaurant and we opened. The feedback was incredible. And very quickly, within 12 months, I had a couple of German customers driving all the way from Peja to Nicosia every week to spend the whole day at the restaurant eating, drinking, very healthy drinks. Especially one of them was a very, very driven, super healthy guy that's still one of my very, very good friends. And they believed so much in my product because they had traveled the world and never tasted such a plant-based restaurant. They want to invest. So even though I wasn't ready, I've always been a firm believer in jump and grow your wings on the way down. 2021, I signed a rental agreement for a second Elysian in Limassol. The goal was to open a full-service restaurant and within 15 months, open 2 takeaways under the same company. We invested over 120,000 euro in renovating a space which was literally concrete walls, a brand new building, to make it an incredible restaurant that was world class. And I had a rental agreement signed for the next 10 years. So I had a very, very big vision where I wanted to take that establishment. In the same week that we opened the restaurant in March 2022, my life came crashing down. Something happened in my relationship, in my marriage, in my home, that literally turned my family upside down. And in the following months, I was driving an hour and a half each way because I was picking up my chef, taking her to the restaurant and driving back. And I wasn't able to focus because trust was broken and my mind was on my marriage and on my children. So unfortunately, 9 months later, I had to shut down Elysian Limassol. It was a very painful decision, but at the same time, it was a big weight off my chest because I could really focus on myself now. The next 12 months, I let myself go down and go down very deep. I was crying my own misery, feeling emotions of remorse, of doubt, of hopelessness, of rage, of anger. And I moved into parts of it was depression. I literally was on the couch, not every day because I still had responsibilities in my business. I had responsibilities with my family, take the kids to school, take them to some sports class, activities after school. However, a lot of my days, I was not productive at all. I allowed Elysian and Nicosia to tick on over. I'm very blessed to have had an incredible team that I was able to focus on myself in that time, and Elysian kept on going. You know, it's so easy when you're in that space to feel hopeless, to feel, what did I do to deserve this? Why is my life like this? Have I not worked so hard to deserve better? A mentor that changed my life said years ago when I was going through not such a tough period, but a similar time, not at that depth. He said, George, diversity makes some people break and makes others break records. You can get stupidly excited about your life again, about the blessings you have, and you can take action, or you can sit there and cry in your own pity party. So what helped me restart and get out of that? First of all, I had mentors around me. And even in that 12 months, I had people around me. I had a spiritual father. I had a couple of different coaches that I was going to. I was talking. But sometimes you can't force the change. All it takes is a moment to change. But you've got to find that moment for you. For me, it took 12 months, 12 to 18 months. I was still seeing coaches. I was still communicating, speaking with people, but I didn't feel ready in myself to let go of the past. And many times, I wouldn't say many times, I'd say almost every single time, it is our own selves that stop us. It's our own selves that either push ourselves forward or hold ourselves back. And one of the biggest tricks of the devil is to remind you of your past and try to twist you and make you believe that that's who you really are. So once you can let go of the past and realize what I did yesterday determined who I am today. But what I do today will determine who I will be tomorrow. It's easier said than done because you've got a lot of emotions and thoughts and circumstances that are unique to every single individual. But the amazing thing is that every day we wake up, the sun rises and it's a brand new day. I remember I was 18 years old and I was walking through Perth city centre in Australia where I grew up, and I was crying my own misery. Something happened with my friends, teenage problems. And I was looking down, walking slow, shoulders humped down, and a guy saw me, says, "Buddy, just remember, tomorrow is a brand new day. And every single day we have a chance to start again." So the first thing I did to really begin a new chapter was I stayed close to the people that cared about me. The second thing, I began with small wins. Small wins included gardening. Of course, spending time in nature helps. Going out for walks helps. Self-reflection and self-care is an absolute must. But small wins like beginning to tidy my garden, beginning to organize my office, all those things began a small change. And if you look at a plane's direction and their flight path, a small change at the beginning, if they keep that course over time, creates a massive change. I started focusing on the 4 musts: water, exercise, nutrition, and sleeping the right way. See, if you're not sleeping before 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., there's a chemical in your brain that is the healing. Whether it's a chemical or a hormone, I'm not a doctor, but it really heals your body, helps you rest and recharge. If you're not sleeping before 10, you're really on the path to burning out. Those 4 are the musts: good nutrition and especially exercise. Exercise creates endorphins and dopamine in your body that help elevate your mood, give you more energy, give you more clarity in your brain. I started going for walks without my mobile phone, really being present to the air, to the trees, to nature around me. And that, in essence, in itself, recharges you as well. I started having a mindset shift, accepting that failures are always part of the process. Falling down is inevitable. Deciding how long you stay down is a decision. Started reading stories and focusing on people and remembering all the books on personal development and the seminars I've been to. People like Colonel Sanders, who restarted again in his 70s and created one of the biggest franchises in today's world. So many people started late, reinvented themselves, and redefined who they are. I chose to find clarity and focus on my vision. I was 44 years old. Whatever I decided to do at that age, I will be doing until the end of my life. It wasn't the time to start something new. So I really sat down, and again, a mentor helped the shift here. I sat down and thought, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? What do I love doing? And she asked the question, so what have you been doing until now? And I sat there and I shared my career of the last 30 years, that it was basically restaurants, hotels, travel, and business in the hospitality and consulting in hospitality and travel. And I thought to myself, that's what I love doing. That's what I've been doing for the last 30 years. And many times we need to look back and understand, what has this chapter prepared me for where I am right now. And that's the exact moment I decided to start this podcast. I decided to start this podcast, not doing it in a cold studio, and there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, it's the content that's important, but to do it in the environments where these amazing businesses are, to showcase and the entrepreneurs and business leaders that are making changes, that are transforming their own lives, innovating, and making an impact on the world. And when I started my podcast, I really wasn't ready. I remember a couple of nights before, I was messaging old mentors, wanting to get advice, wanting to seek their wisdom. But what helped me, I'm still doing all the editing myself. So in the act alone of listening to all these learnings, I was relearning them myself. I decided to select faith over fear. See, faith is believing that something greater is in control. Faith is understanding that you're put in a certain place to learn certain lessons until you go to the next chapter. And understanding you're not put into any situation that you're not strong enough to be able to handle it. I decided to choose discipline over emotions, because discipline is doing something even when you know you don't feel like doing it. But if you know that it's going to help you get where you need to go, read those few pages in the morning, do that exercise, eat cleaner, drink that water, sleep better, speak to the people that inspire you, speak to the people that fill you up. And even if you can't speak to them, then there's so many podcasts and videos and courses that you can do to plug you back in to wisdom, to knowledge, to inspiration, to growth. All of those things remind you who you are and why you're here. And silence the noise. I chose many years ago to go on an information diet. I do not watch the news. I haven't watched the news since 2008. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to socialize. And that's okay sometimes, because then you've got time alone to self-reflect. Begin journaling. That really helped me, because when you're writing things down and how you feel, first of all, you can use that journal in the future to train the lessons and what helped you get out of it. And second of all, you're seeing your situation from a bird's eye point of view. You're seeing your situation from almost being your own coach. And when you write things down, not type them down, write them with your hand, with a pen and paper, realize so many solutions can come from that just by you writing your own challenges down. So the business lessons that came out of this, once I started building momentum, I decided to start the podcast. I decided to refocus on my restaurant, to strengthen it, to focus again on my consulting as well, to find clients that I can appreciate working with them, that I want to give my God-given talents and touch their businesses with. So I reassessed my strengths and my weaknesses. Like I said earlier, I really sat down and said, what do I know? What am I good at? What am I passionate about? What lights me up? What do I do? And when I do it, time just flies. And I realize it's what I've already been doing. I've got a goal now of a franchise. We've got 3D designs ready, because running one restaurant personally for me was not challenging enough. Hence, we're also focused on expanding my consulting as well. I started building systems. Structure helps keep you on track. I built an Excel with my timetable of breaking 15 minutes every single day, what my morning habits are, my morning rituals, and prioritizing week by week, what do I want to achieve? Those small accomplishments help really build momentum, help you feel full, and what you use grows. So when you use the skills you've got, the knowledge you've got, it begins once again to grow. When you don't use it, it's like muscles. Whatever you don't use, you lose. Struggle shapes you. And I always tell my kids, τα δύσκολα είναι για τους δυνατούς. The difficult is for the strong. When we're going through challenges, sometimes we get frustrated and we start pulling out our hair. But if you understand there's meaning behind it and there's a purpose behind it, then emotionally it's not going to be so difficult. You can really focus on the prize rather than the price of something, the pain. Think about the prize and the amazing things around the corner when you really come out of that struggle. And just remember, without the tunnel, you wouldn't have humility. You wouldn't have strength. You wouldn't have the clarity on where you want to go. What do you want to focus on your energy for the next few years, for the rest of your life? And my friends, when you emerge out of the tunnel, you won't be successful. You'll be transformed. You'll be a new person that has so much clarity on where you want to go and so much new energy. The past 6 months have been transformative. I have not felt this inspired, this driven, and have had this work ethic in many years. Even when I was opening my second restaurant, it all seemed too easy. I don't want easy. So message to anyone restarting now. My friends, you are not alone. Every single person has a Goliath, sometimes multiple Goliaths that we go through in our life. And here's 5 practical steps that will really help you to restart that's gone through the dark tunnel today. Number 1, start small. Whether it's gardening, tidying your office, reading a book, starting to exercise without your phone 20-30 minutes a day, but just start. Number 2, shift your focus to the things that you can control. Anthony Robbins talks about the circle of influence. When you focus what you can influence within your circle, then you begin to feel powerful. When you focus on all the things, on the world events, or the wars, or the famines, and all the COVID, all the things you cannot control, you feel powerless. So shift your focus on the things that you can control. Shift your focus on the things that you're good at, that you love, that you're passionate about. Step 3, be humble. Don't let your ego stop you. Your ego is not your amigo. Sometimes our ego, the self-image we have of ourselves that we've built and we believe who we are, is just an image. And some people focus so much on that ego and that image and convince people that's who they really are that they lose their own selves. Step 4, find a way to serve others. Serving others is one of the reasons we're in this world. The way to greatness is service to others. So find a way to serve others, and by that you'll receive fulfillment and you'll receive appreciation and love back. And step 5, keep learning, keep moving, keep growing. Invest in yourself daily. Listen to things that inspire you. Listen to people that have been through where you're going in any area of your life. And by that way, you will get out faster. I hope this served you. I know that it's easier said than done, but I promise you, my friends, out the other side, you'll be blown away, transformed into the person you are always meant to be. Sometimes failure is a way of life showing us we're on the wrong path, that there's something bigger for us. But once you come out the other side and allow the lessons to come from that failure, allow to give yourself the self-care and the time needed to heal, to take those lessons, to rebuild yourself, it can feel like every single moment is a miracle. And it is. Life is a miracle. Life is a gift. Every single day can be absolutely magical. There's a beautiful video online that shows the moment that the sperm goes into the egg cell, there's a flash of light. The moment that that soul goes into those clump of cells. I've got huge faith in our Creator that we're all here for a purpose. Every single person has greatness in them. Every single person is here for a reason. We've got things to learn, things to help our soul evolve, and it's worth going through the pain, going out the other side. I hope that's helped you, or if you know anybody that this episode can impact their own life, please share it with them. I promise you, every single man goes through the dark tunnel. I'm sure women have their own journeys. I don't have personal experience to share on that side of the spectrum, but I'm grateful for anyone that finished this episode. You're here to the end. If this gave you value, please do share. God bless.